Greetings, Scorpio and Scorpio rising. This is your Western forecast for May 2025. The sun, every May, from the end of April through the first 3 weeks of May, is transiting through the sign of Taurus. Taurus is the exact opposite Scorpio. The opposite represents the significant other, whether this is an important contract, a business partnerships, or your significant other, your spouse. So every May, the sun is drawing your attention to important relationship matters. So we'll put a pin in that. Venus is the planet of desire and love and creativity. Venus is in Aries, which is 6 signs past Scorpio. Now, Venus went retrograde March the 1st through April the 12th, and which it does every year and a half, a time of reevaluating and testing relationships, or even reevaluating your creative goals and projects. Now, Venus retrograded out of Aries as we went into April and retrograded into Pisces. So it remained in Pisces through April. And then as we go into May 2025, Venus, that planet of desire, went into Aries into early June. So all of May, Venus is highlighting your 6th house. The 6th house is about your day-to-day work routine, your job skills. Now with Venus, this could be creative work projects. Venus is also very social. Maybe you are with coworkers, there's more camaraderie, making new friendships, or even an infatuation with a new co-worker. But the 6th house also deals with body maintenance and self-improvement and healthcare. Venus could be a real strong desire to improve your health, improve your diet. But the 6th house can also, with Venus, could be a desire to have to look more beautiful. Now, whether this is a makeover, a new hairstyle, new clothes, but often with that could be thinking about having facials, having Botox, any kind of cosmetic treatment. For some of you, with that Venus wanting to be beautiful as it's transiting your 6th house of body maintenance. So far, these are just kind of the basics. But now let's look at, there's a big shift of awareness and consciousness, if you will, for everybody. And what's happening is Neptune, that visionary, idealistic, empathetic, dreamy energies of Neptune. Neptune is a 166-year cycle around the solar system, around the horoscope. And Neptune last month, in April, moved into Aries. And Aries is a fire sign. Neptune is all these ideals. And this, in general, for the world, could trigger much more fighting for your ideologies, more activism for your beliefs systems, that Neptune in Aries. But the Neptune is also moving into Aries, which is 6 signs past Scorpio. Now, the most positive I think about right away is Neptune can be very empathetic, very sensitive, very caring. The 6th house, along with work and health matters, is where we look to for service. And with Neptune going into your 6th house, for nearly the next 14 years, that they might be more inspired to be of service and help those less fortunate. On a more individual level, maybe you are really sacrificing to really help a loved one who is sick, and you want to just be there to be really supportive. That's a positive of Neptune in the 6th. Now, the big thing is Venus through May is in Aries. Neptune is now in Aries. And that Venus-Neptune can be very creative, very romantic. With the 6th house, that could be very favorable for creative work. That could be very favorable for doing volunteer work and really setting that up in May. But certainly you could become infatuated and being swept off your feet with that dreamy Venus-Neptune with a co-worker. Now, why this is such a major shift of awareness for the world is, yes, Neptune is now in Aries, but taskmaster, grounding, realistic Saturn is moving into Aries on May the 24th, the first time in 29 and a half years. And it will be there in Aries until the end of August, which it retrogrades back into Pisces, where it will remain tying up loose ends of what Saturn in Pisces is teaching you, which is some positive energies because it's a water sign and you're a water sign, a lot of compatibility there. But the Saturn will then move back into Aries in February, along with Neptune will be in Aries into early October. Then it retrogrades back into Pisces, and then both the Neptune and the Saturn will go back into Aries in February. And what will happen there is it will be Saturn and Neptune will align, which is a significant 36-year cycle. The Saturn, Neptune, and there's a lot of positive energy this time, because Saturn can be reality, Neptune can be fantasy, and a lot of people on the dark side of this Saturn-Neptune, if there were other negative influence from other planets, could be being depressed, escaping reality, being sick. But this is going to be overall very favorable for the world, because liberating progressive Uranus is moving into the air sign of Gemini in July. First time in 84 years. Gemini is an air sign compatible with the Venus-Saturn in Aries, a fire sign. And your ruling planet, Pluto, powerful transformational Pluto, is now in Aquarius, an air sign. So you have on either side of that Saturn-Neptune is these outer planets, which can be life-changing in air signs, really supporting the Neptune-Saturn in the fire sign of Aries. So the most positive of Saturn and Neptune, and it's certainly the potential for most of you, is Neptune is the dream and the vision. And Saturn can manifest it and ground it. Basically, this is a real opportunity, depending on where the Saturn-Neptune aligns for each of the 12 signs or for your own individual chart, is being able to make your dreams come true. That's a real basic explanation. Now, being for Scorpios, it's in your 6th house. You may get very involved in healing, in medicine, or charity with that 6th house. You could be setting up a whole new business and learning new business skills to be of service and helping others. And for some of you, sixth house represents your body maintenance. And so you could be really considering a major cosmetic makeover. Now I want to talk about Mars. Before Pluto, your ruling planet, was discovered, Mars was the ruling planet for Scorpio. So many astrologers still use Mars as a co-ruler for Scorpio. Now, so it gives it a little bit more emphasis for you. But Mars is in Leo, and Leo is 10 signs past Scorpio. Mars is that drive and ambition and aggression. And the Mars went into Leo, so you might get a clue of this, back in November and December. By early January, because it retrograded December the 6th, by early January, it retrograded out of Leo into Cancer, a water sign, in your 9th house, where you might have been doing a lot of marketing, teaching, learning, traveling, all that fired up 9th house activities with the Mars. Then Mars remained in Cancer until we got into April, where it then moved back into Leo, which is now all of May. It's in Leo into the first part of June. So Mars really impacts you because it's a former ruling planet, and it's in Leo, which is in your 10th house of career matters. But Mars rules Aries. It always did rule Aries. And your Venus, Neptune, Saturn are in Aries. Aries ruled by Mars. And so that Mars is very much emphasized, transiting your 10th house of careers with all those Aries planets in your 6th house of work. Now that could also be setting up a new business or learning new job skills or getting an important new job. But with the Mars, which is that ambitious, driven energies in your 10th house of careers, in a fire sign of Leo, meaning it's in harmony with all those Aries planets in fire sign, there's a major push for leadership, for initiating new business ventures, for starting a new business, or starting a major new career position, especially with that paradigm shift of Neptune, Saturn in your 6th house of work, or starting a new business. The Neptune is the dream and the vision. Saturn makes it real. Now, the Sun is in Taurus the first 3 weeks of every May. So it's putting a spotlight on contracts and marriage and relationships, because Taurus is the exact opposite Scorpio, and the opposite represents the significant other. So the first 3 weeks, it could be that you are forming a new business with a partner. Now, the Sun leaves Taurus on May the 20th and goes into Gemini for those next 4 weeks. Gemini is 8 signs past Scorpio. So your attention is being very much drawn to 8th house matters. And you're also really feeling this quite significantly because Scorpio is the 8th sign of the zodiac. On one hand, on a very deep level, this puts a real emphasis on major life changes and transformations, or starting to really let go of the old business ways of doing things and bringing in a whole new approach. In business itself, the 8th house deals with finance, joint ventures, negotiating business contracts, and certainly formalizing any kind of partnerships in business. So when you add that sun in Taurus in the 7th of contracts and partnerships, and then moving into the 8th house at the end of the month, which could be dealing with banking and finance and joint ventures, with this Neptune-Saturn paradigm shift in your 6th house, it could be about certainly really wanting to work on your dream of your life purpose. And the Mars, which is only for a few weeks, once every 2 years, but it's indicating that you're really feeling this motivation and drive to start a new business or start a major new job, and it could be through a contract offer, that's the 7th house, or forming a partnership to go into a new business. And this, with the 6th house, it might even be a business of healthcare or of charity, of trying to make a difference to help those in need. I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading or to check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next month, be safe and well.